Hello, hello, hello. This is Jean-Rae Peterson, and welcome to the Omega FPL Podcast. It is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful Wednesday night in Johannesburg, and I am joined by my favorite co-host, Chester Dalmer.
Welcome to Omega FPL. Yes, we're back at it again. Premier League football, international break is over. You know where to hear the top stories. You know where to hear banter stories. You know who's top of the league.
In case anybody forgot who's on top of a league, do you mind sharing that information with us? Just letting us know.
The team who's been performing or playing rather poorly, yet they had 4 out of 4 wins. They have 2 clean sheets. Yes, 2 clean sheets and 4 late winners in 4 weeks. 12 points, 100% record intact. I think, is it too early to say invincible?
Way too early.
Way too early.
Way too early. Come on.
No stress.
It takes a certain amount of games. It takes in a certain amount of players to commit to the cause. But nonetheless, like everything else in this life, certain victories are premature. I can tell you as an Arsenal fan, I know a lot about that. But nonetheless, let's get into it. Let's get into it. I know you're preparing for are you preparing for Champions League, Chester? Are you getting ready for it?
Psychologically, I've won already, So
Okay.
it's just
Okay.
it's just to put it on the record now.
Okay, no, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Who are you playing?
I'm playing Atletico Madrid tonight. We're playing at
Mm-hmm.
Anfield. There
That's
was
great.
some hints that Alexander the Great Isak might be playing. Whether he's starting or not, I'm not sure. But it would be lovely just to see our £125 million striker just score a brace. Not too much. I'm not asking
No,
for too much.
no,
Just a
that's
brace.
beautiful. Okay, okay. Now,
As
I
for
think it
you,
would
I
be a
saw
great
that.
debut for him.
As for you, I saw that the old dogs, the old guard, the super sub, Leandro Trossard, and the guy who has
Leandro
just recently
Trossard,
lost his
yes.
place. I see that they are performing.
Yeah, no. I think Martinelli was on a pitch for less than 30. I think was on a pitch for 36 seconds to be exact. Not think. I know he was on the pitch for 36 seconds to be exact, and he scored the goal. Lovely pass from Trossard, and he pulled the ball back. The ball was behind him slightly. Perfect ball control, and that's ultimately the Martinelli that we're looking for. That is the Gabriel Martinelli that we are looking for. To be honest, he had a lovely exchange again. The next one with Trossard. Trossard has a little bit of a deflection as he scored the goal, but he sorted out his feet in time, put the ball in the back of the net. Perfect. Unai Simon could not handle my two super subs. You know what I'm saying? We kept it late, so I guess a great start to the Champions League. Playing it at Athletic Bilbao wasn't easy. The boys definitely didn't have a good match first half, but second half they definitely put it away. But yeah, no man. It was great to see them scoring. Martinelli looked extremely happy getting back on the score sheet. He's been struggling for some time, but here we are. Here we are doing his thing. Um, I wanted to get back to your match tonight with Atletico Madrid. Give me score indication. You've already pointed out that Isak will have a brace.
No, no.
I don't think he'll start. I don't think he'll start, but I would love to see him play. To be honest, I am a fan of him. I'm a big fan of Isak. From the days he used to terrorize us at Newcastle, I am definitely a big fan of him. But what do you think?
So the way you're saying it, from the days you used to terrorize you, as if this was years ago. This happened last season, you know?
This happened recently.
Exactly. Atletico, what their DNA and how they do play football, they are very defensive, are known to be strong at the back. They don't concede too many, both in the midfield and the defense. They are very rugged, and
Hmm.
you know the tackles are going to fly tonight. I know
Of
this for
course.
sure. And one thing
Of
I love
course.
about UEFA, the referees are not, they don't give away soft fouls, except if you're Real Madrid and you need to win the
Thank you.
game.
Thank you for pointing that out because
You
I
give
was
a
going to put that
penalty.
in there. Yeah.
But yeah, we're speaking Premier League here. Let's leave, Real
What's
Madrid
happening there? Are you
for.
dehydrated? Are you drinking a lot of water? What's going on? What are you doing? Why you seem like you require a lot of water?
No, the pH balance must be, balancing. I need my two
I
parts
hear you.
hydrogen and one part oxygen. But yeah, as for the score tonight, I do believe that Liverpool 3, Atletico 1. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the
And
quick
and
chemistry
and
lesson.
and what I'm saying is that even though Atletico don't concede many, this is what I would like to say, a new hope, new age, new start, fresh start, Liverpool 2.0, slot 2.0. I mean, we've been building for 7 years under Klopp, and I think in
Mm-hmm.
Klopp's fifth year, the building was, the fundamentals were done. Slot came in and he took over from the fundamentals. He won the league. Uh, he got knocked out by the eventual Champions League winners. So I just believe that Slot knows what he's doing, and even though even though we got knocked out, even though we're playing poorly, I think that Slot really has direction. He knows how he wants his guys to play. I mean, over the weekend, Milos Kerkez was substituted
Yeah.
after 36 minutes. So he's showing he's not fearless. I mean, he's not fearful, sorry. He's fearless. So he knows what he wants. He knows what he wants out of his players. And I think eventually the players ultimately, they know what they are there for. They know why they've invested, why Liverpool as a club has invested so much. And yeah, I think from here, there's no going down, there's only going up. I see myself with a treble this season.
Some bold words from the man, from the cop end. Some bold words. Look, we're not gonna dig too much into Champions League, but I'm gonna break down those points that you made there. Uh, I just want you to know that you are up against a very solid Atletico team. You've got Alvarez, Griezmann. You've got Gonzalez also in that team as well. You've got a few good. You've got some proper competition there. I know Conor Gallagher will definitely look to terrorizing you, but let's see what he does. Let's see what he does. All right. Nonetheless, you with your treble, it's lovely to see that you aspire for something greater than what you have. I think that's exceptional over there. But nonetheless, man,
Positive thinking.
enough about positive thinking, wishful thinking, hopeful thinking, whatever you want to. I think they're all good tides to you, brother. Good tides to you. Let's dig into the fixtures for game week 5. So I've had a bit of a view of everything, and I'm curious to see exactly what will happen this weekend. Because
Game week 5.
first week of
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, no, no,
Are
no,
we
no, no,
not
no.
doing. I think it would be biased of us just to go past game week 4, eh? I think let's just do a recap, a
Have we
quick
not?
recap.
We'll do that. We'll do that. No, trust me, we'll get there. We'll get there.
No
What
stress.
I want to get at is, so this is the first week of Champions League football returning. Most Premier League teams played 3-4 days ago, and obviously they're going to play 3-4 days from now. So what do you think will the teams who are playing Champions League look like. And this upcoming weekend, bear in mind that this is the beginning of the season. Players don't have that match fitness as yet to play 3 days in, 3 days out, 3 days in, 3 days out. Give me your overview of that in terms of stamina, in terms of match fitness, match rotation, squad depth, or rather, squad rotation and squad depth.
So this is one thing where actually I'm not used to having the greatest of squad depth as a Liverpool fan. I'm not used to seeing Arsenal as a club with the greatest squad depth. Yes, they have Arsenal all these years has always had brilliant players, but I always felt that they were too young to depend on. And this
Yeah,
season, I see the shift, but the shift has been. I've seen it at Man City. I've seen it at like Real Madrid. Even though yes, they're not a Premier League team, but I've seen the shift whereby teams are playing a lot of games, and because they're playing a lot of games, they're growing their squads. But with that being said, no player wants to be benched. For
true,
instance,
true.
if Declan Rice does not get injured, I believe that man can play the entire season for club and country. So because
Yeah, no, he's got an engine
expectations,
on him. He's definitely got an engine on him.
yes, and it's just one example. Like I can make many examples, but
Yeah,
because next year, 2026, is the North American World Cup. Yeah. So I think a lot of players are really putting in the work in training, in fitness, in just securing their place in the national team. And World Cup is always crazy. World Cup, yeah, is crazy. We always find out that the best season of the player, uh, let's say Lyle Foster. Lyle Foster is going to be the best player for Burnley for his club. And then just before the World Cup, he gets injured. He doesn't play for Bafana. So
true, true.
these
That
are the
happens
kind
quite
of
often. Yeah,
things. It happens quite often, and it's players that we anticipate. We want to see them. We want to see what they actually bring. So I think management, team management is going to be vital. I think teams, clubs, countries, everything are going to try and work hand in hand so that the best players can go to the World Cup and perform and try to bring back. I think I would say I don't think it's the greatest trophy out there, but yeah, bring, make your nation proud.
are you saying
To
that
be
the World Cup?
honest, if
You don't think the World Cup is the greatest trophy out there for a footballer?
uh, as a fan competitively, I don't think it's the greatest out there because I don't think they are, or let me rather say, I don't think it's fair how the World Cup is selected. I know there's the new format now, I think 64 teams or something, but yeah, I that's a conversation for another day, the World Cup one. But
We'll
I
have a brief overview. I think this is fantasy football, and we generally we do discuss all forms of football. But I hear what you are saying. I just have one question for you though. I just say as a fan, you don't put the World Cup trophy up there as one of the most important trophies to win. You've obviously watched a lot of World Cups in your lifetime.
no,
Okay.
not important. You're using the incorrect term over there. Not
Eh,
important.
Then kindly do correct me, kind sir.
Yes, I think the World Cup is important for a player because I mean we are still hearing about Maradona, hand of God. The man the man died years ago, but his legacy lives on forever.
You're
Pele is
giving me
still
fluff. You're giving me fluff. You're giving me all of these beautiful things. This all give me it straight. What do you
yes.
think about the World Cup? You're giving me all of this history. I don't need a history
I,
lesson. Give me to me direct.
okay, okay. If you do win the World Cup with your country, you are a legend. It doesn't matter who you are. Players who perform at the World Cup comes back with a higher value to their clubs. And I mean, World Cup happens every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
James Rodriguez, for instance.
James
We saw him
Rodriguez.
shine. We saw him shine at the World Cup, and from there his price skyrocketed. Real Madrid bought him,
Mm,
and the guy was a total flop. He was a flop
yeah,
wherever he went to. But for Colombia, he shows up. So
true,
he might
true.
not be a brilliant player. We might not name him in the same category of Messi and yeah, there on top by Messi.
Yes, I hear what you're saying. Cool.
Yeah, the rest of them, the rest is under Messi. But yeah, yeah.
It's funny how this is the
So my
only
take.
name you mentioned, but yeah, go ahead.
So basically, I think that World Cup for a player is one of the most brilliant trophies you can win, but I don't think it's the most competitive football you'll engage in. For instance,
Okay.
you can, I don't know the rules of the new format, but let's just use the 32 team format. You play group stages. Let's say you get New Zealand, South Africa, and Uruguay. You give me the team who is, yeah, that's three. You give me the fourth one.
You gave me a team from it was Oceania. You gave me South Africa, and then you gave me which was the other one? Paraguay, South America.
Uruguay.
Yeah, let's put one. Let's put someone from Europe in there as well. Someone.
So you give me that one.
Let's put in a team like Sweden. Let's put a team like Sweden.
Okay. And Sweden as well. In my opinion, that's an easy group for Uruguay to win. It's a very easy group for them to win. Uruguay, let's say, this is just a scenario. You have your take, I have my take. So let's say Uruguay wins the group. They come out on top. Okay? No? You
I'm
disagree
listening. No, I'm
somewhere?
listening attentively. You caught my attention. I'm listening.
Okay. So Uruguay comes out on top. Round of
Uh-huh.
16, they play Mexico. They beat Mexico. Oh, no, no, not Mexico. The USA. The
This is
world's
scenario
greatest
based, yeah.
country.
This is scenario
Yes.
based.
The world's greatest
Okay.
country according to them. They play them, they beat them. The
Mexico.
round thereafter, which is quarterfinal, they get Turkey. They beat Turkey. Semi-final, they get Portugal, who has 6 injuries because the tournament or the season has been so long that players are actually overworked, overplayed. They get Portugal, they beat Portugal. They come to the final, they get, name the finalist, Uruguay versus.
Let's give it one of the obvious ones. Let's put someone in there, some big European team, maybe like someone like Germany, like France, like Netherlands, someone huge.
Yeah, you give
Because the
me.
teams that you've been going around with, it's crazy. But nonetheless, it's a scenario, and it is possible. It is possible for these things to
Exactly.
happen.
So
Let's put them
that's
up
my
in the
point.
finals against Germany,
Okay, now they get Germany in the
Uruguay,
final.
Germany.
Yes, they get Germany in the final. Uh, Weather conditions does not favor Germans because Germans are used to European weather. So by the 30th
Where's the
minute
World
of the
Cup being
game
held? Where's the World Cup being
in
held?
North America, in North
Cool.
America.
There we go. Continue. Yeah.
So they get Germany by 30 minutes. Germany's burnt out. Players are overheating because that's not their kind of weather. And Uruguay wins the World Cup 1-0. 1-0, done. What do we say about Darwin Nunes thereafter?
Far fetched.
Far-fetched to you, no problem. No problem.
That's what it is. But no, let's move forward from this World Cup scenario because I feel like you and I are going to open up a whole new debate because, there was your situation that you brought up. And obviously, I think all the variables obviously catered towards Uruguay getting that far. I get what you're trying to point out with what the World Cup is. But thank you for taking me to Durban via Lesotho. What I was actually gunning at was you've watched a lot of World Cups in your entire lifetime. Which one do you think stood out for you the most?
For me as a fan or for me as an individual?
You as a fan, you in your capacity, you as a fan.
would say Germany '06. Germany '06, I
Germany
think it
'06.
was,
I recall that one.
yeah, I would say that it was the time of the best football I've seen. Uh, yeah, the legends, or what we call them legends now.
What you
Peterson.
grew up seeing as legends, yeah.
Yes, yes. So I think that one for me. But as an individual, I would say 2010. Obviously, it happened
Mm.
around the corner. So yeah, as an individual, 2010. But as a fan, Germany '06 was the best World Cup by far. Actually, I think 2014 and 2018 quality for me
The
wasn't
last
there.
few World Cups have fallen off. The last few World Cups have fallen off definitely. Like even in terms of engagement, I think ultimately a lot of the new football has been based not really around fans and the experience, but more so the profits they can accumulate from that. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. Let's move forward to Game Week 4 results. Premier League.
Yeah, let's get
Uh,
into some FPL things.
yes. But nonetheless, good chat, good chat. Let's start off with the early fixture Saturday, the 13th of September. Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest no. I know you did discuss last week that it is definitely a possibility for Arsenal to go clear of that and take a W. I was a bit concerned about my attacking threat. I'm not going to lie about that, but I've never really been concerned about the defensive contributions of all players. Um, Arsenal have always proven to be quite solid defensively, and they really showed it once again. I don't think Raya had a lot to do, but nonetheless, the attackers were there. And before the ball even gets to the back line, I think the midfield, or the defensive midfield, worked to make sure that they get the ball back quickly. The result was around 3-0. I think it was a fair result based off the game. Wood has a habit of not really pulling up as of late. Both Ndoye and Hudson Odoi really didn't show up much for the match, but great goal. Absolutely stunning goal by Martin Zubimendi, the Spanish defensive midfielder. And matter of fact, I think he actually scored two. Yes, he did. He scored two goals, one absolutely stunning one. And once again, there Eze and Gyökeres linking up. Eze playing the ball from a Fury pass. Plays the ball first time to Gyökeres. Gyökeres has a lovely little tap in, straight in there. Good game. What are your views? That was just a quick match report. Tell me, what do you think?
In all honesty, Arsenal will be blowing teams away this season, especially because they do not let many goals through the back.
Mm-hmm.
And well up to Gyökeres, well up to him for adapting so fast and not letting the internet get to him, not letting the pressure of being an Arsenal player get to him. And I feel sorry for a player like him because if I can say, the world is on his shoulders at the moment. If Arsenal does not win the league,
Mm-hmm.
they will be saying, but we needed a
Those are a
striker, we
lot
needed
of
a
red
striker.
arrows over there, my boy. Those are a lot of red arrows. You might want to put that away. It's not a good sight to see, man. Negative energy here.
Yeah, so they will be saying that Arsenal needed a striker. The striker is there, but they didn't win the league. So now is it the striker or is it Arteta? But I think so far so good for Arsenal. They've been performing, I think, to the best of their ability at the moment. My opinion, I think Arsenal can turn it up a notch, but not very high. I think that they are very close to their ceiling at the moment. As for Nottingham Forest, new coach, new system, new technique. Yeah, I said it last week.
Yeah,
Nottingham Forest is going to be blown away, and that's exactly what happened.
yeah. Moving forward, Bournemouth versus Brighton.
So with Bournemouth, actually, Bournemouth, I don't know, is it the team, the coach, the philosophy, what's happening? But for Bournemouth to be this good, yeah, it's a miracle, eh? Bournemouth has no business being this good. Bournemouth has sold the entire back line, including the
Yep.
goalkeeper. and
Yep.
they are still this good. So well up to Bournemouth so far, well up to Semenyo. I saw Semenyo last season, and I thought he was a bit of a headless chicken. He was doing a lot of
Yeah.
the running off the ball. He was in good spaces, but he wasn't getting the supply. But so far, so good. This guy, I think,
Yeah,
is
no,
the
definitely, definitely.
highest scorer in FPL terms so far. I think Semenyo, yeah, it's either Imo Haaland who has reached the pinnacle. Let me just see. Haaland 37,
Yeah,
Semenyo
come and be honest
36.
with you.
Yeah,
I think
so yeah, for
definitely the
Bournemouth,
Cherries had a great start to the season. I'm surprised. I remember the discussions you and I had at the beginning of the season, discussing them, and we pointed out that look, they've rinsed the entire team. What's the possibility of them really keeping it together? And they are doing more than keeping it together. Semenyo has performed over and above his standard. At this point, he's valued at 7.5 million. I think his form is around 7, definitely 7, yeah. And he scores about 9 points per match. 36 points thus far. 36 points. And next up, he has Newcastle. Crazy, crazy. Nonetheless, as you were saying with the Bournemouth and Brighton match,
yeah, Brighton. To be honest, Brighton is just doing Brighton. Brighton is playing comfortably. Uh, win one, lose one, draw one,
Brighton
lose
game.
two, win two, draw two. Brighton is just going about their business the way they need to be, just to stay in the Premier League. I mean, yes, all of us has aspirations as teams, but if you think about it, Brighton are overachieving, and they've been overachieving since they got to the Premier League. So I'm actually well up to them. I
Are you saying
I
Brighton
don't
has been
see.
overachieving?
Yes, they have been.
Okay, okay. Not
Yeah.
Bournemouth.
So no, not Bournemouth. No, I don't mean this season. I just mean in general. Brighton is
Okay.
overachieving at the, like for a team of their capacity, for a team to be out of the Premier League or for such a long time. They are there, and they competitive actually. On a
Yeah,
bad
no.
day, Man City loses 2-1 to them, and I mean it's proof it happened.
It
So
happens. It happens.
exactly. So yeah,
But even
since
then, also, I think
2017 until now, I mean they've been in the Premier League. Uh, in
they
2022 they
sustained a
finished ninth
good a
place.
good run in the Premier League.
Exactly. They're a sustainable team. They sell all the hopes and dreams to Chelsea and they get their business done. And I think Brighton, I don't not like them. I don't actually. Brighton to me is that team that if they play any other team, I support Brighton to win. But if they do lose, it's no hard feelings. At least you gave it a go.
Yeah. Look, the match had I think was a solid match. Matoma scored very early in the second half. Um, you give him that chance. You give Matoma the chance, and he's going to put the ball away. I think he's really one of the most. He's smart. His football IQ is really up there. And speaking about the hopes and dreams that Brighton sell, give me a quick 15-20 second overview of what do you think Matoma's future is looking like. Do you think he's going to stay at Brighton the upcoming seasons? Do you think he's going to leave? Bear in mind, he has been pulling attractions from all over.
Uh, Honestly, Matoma
Yeah,
is Brighton's player. He stays at Brighton the
he's a
same
Brighton
way
player.
that
Saint.
the Brighton
Here we
player.
go.
He stays there the same way that uh, Son Heung-min never moved anywhere, even when he was at the
Uh-huh.
peak of his career, even when at the point he was arguably the best player in the world. But I think the world treats or world football just
15
treats
to 20
everyone
seconds,
fair.
brother. 15 to 20 seconds. 15 to 20 seconds. Let's move forward. Crystal Palace versus Sunderland. No. I'm going to be honest with you about something. I'm tired of Mateta now. I'm tired of Mateta. Like Mateta is Jean-Philippe Mateta. He's really like I'm getting ready to sell him. He had one match where he performed, and that was ultimately that was also just there. You know, other than that, he's been boring. He doesn't pull up matches. He doesn't show what he's capable of. And he's in my team. He's been in my team. I gave him 3 chances. Gave him one more. I'm done. I'm absolutely done with him. Crystal Palace, no. Sunderland, no. Who would have thought?
In my opinion,
Who would have thought? Yeah?
uh, like vanilla, nah. Like
Whatever. Yeah.
Palace does what Palace does. They defend. They you don't score easily against them. Sunderland are actually surprising me so far.
True.
They've been playing well this season. They've actually been playing well. They haven't been just hanging in there. And yeah, to me, it's a shocker when it comes to Sunderland's performances. Like every week, I'm waiting for Sunderland to play badly. I'm waiting to prove myself right to say I knew it. But
You're waiting for them to
these
fall
people,
apart. You're waiting for Sunderland's demise.
I am. But to be honest, they are just not showing any of that.
True.
So I just want to
No,
see.
I like them.
I mean, at the moment,
I
they're
like
seventh on the table, 2 wins, a loss, a draw. I'm not saying that this
That's
is
what
what
we're gonna see
victory
from
looks
them.
like.
I think that is it, man. Based off of the way they play, this is what we're going to get from them. You know, that's what we're not going to get a consistent, solid 8-9 match win run, but we definitely get that fluctuation. I don't see them going down based off the way they are playing, but I do see them as someone that they're still gonna stay up there.
Yeah.
And they've got a good squad, man. They've really got a good squad.
And then Everton 0, Aston Villa 0. Let me jump onto Aston Villa quickly. Aston Villa. No, man, really, like Aston Villa. The team, you know what? I had high hopes of Villa this season. I had high hopes for Watkins this season. Every season, I don't buy Watkins. I'm not a Watkins fan. I don't like how he plays.
Yeah.
I remember the game against Arsenal. I think you guys drew 2-2. There was a chance where it was no one at home, and Watkins hit the post, or I think he
He
dragged
must.
it past the post.
He must. I know which
But
match you're
yeah,
talking about.
so I'm not a Watkins fan. I'm not a Villa fan. But this season, I said, you know what? Last season, Unai showed us something. The season before that, he was even better. This season, Unai is going to be brilliant. What a Aston Villa top 7 definitely. At the moment, this team
It's not looking good.
called Aston Villa for me is the worst team in the Premier League at this moment. They've only accumulated 2 points. They've had 2 draws and 2 losses. Yes, Wolves have 4 losses. Wolves on 0 points, but Wolves are playing football. Whatever
You
Aston
can't
Villa is doing,
compare Villa to Wolves right now because Villa
man, I can
has
compare everybody in the Premier League to one
no.
another.
Villa has
They
after
are the
the season that they
competitors.
come from. After the season that they come from, they should. Unai has a lot of work to do. He really does have a lot of work to do. I mean, coming from where you come from, and then you can't say listen, they're supposed to be performing the same way. Wolves, we give Wolves, we have certain amount of emotional leniency towards Wolves. You're saying Wolves are playing football, Villa is not. That is true. That is very, very true. I mean, let's take a look at the upcoming fixtures for Villa. They've got Sunderland, then they've got Fulham, and then they've got Burnley. Players like Rodgers and Watkins have been performing flaccidly. Flaccidly. I think that
Bless.
Rodgers has 10 points. Yes, Rodgers has 10 points. Watkins has 8 points. and they valued at 7 and 8.8 respectively. Tillemans has a bit of an injury concern, so I understand where it comes from, but there's a lot of work to do. I mean, with these upcoming fixtures they have, Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley, they need to prove themselves right now, and these players need to step up and show exactly. Look, this is Aston Villa. You get what I'm saying? For them to
I get you.
perform, it's disappointing. You can't do that at the level that you are playing, and that's my problem with Villa. That's why I'll just whatever. It's if I see them playing soccer, it's like whatever. I'm not excited to watch them play.
On the side of the world, we don't speak about soccer.
Oh, forgive me. A little bit of football. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's much better. So, so yeah, uh, Fulham 1, Leeds 0.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just feel that Leeds. I think Leeds is just carrying the badge. The badge keeps Leeds up there. It keeps the hype around them for things they did in the past. I just want to go off topic a bit. Leeds, or let me say Juventus at the moment, reminds me about a team similar to Leeds. Not the same, similar. Juventus has a huge name in world football. But for the past 3 seasons, Juventus has actually been playing below their standard.
Well, by yeah.
But the badge keeps that, if even in the Champions League, if you face
The old
Juventus,
lady. Yeah.
I mean, last night
You,
4-4 against Dortmund.
yep.
That's not
Yeah,
Juventus. They don't concede
That was
four
that was that
goals.
was a that was a good match though. However, Juventus weren't set to really win that one. Most of the time,
Exactly.
Juventus was in front.
And
So yeah, no, definitely Juventus aren't. Uh,
and
I
and
get you. No, I get you.
yes. So when it comes to Leeds, I feel that Leeds is actually a very boring team. Leeds is probably going to be relegated, but because of their name, whenever Leeds plays someone, there's this hype around Leeds that, oh, Leeds is going to do it this week. And I mean, you guys beat Leeds 5-0. So, yeah, man, Leeds, they're just boring. Fulham, on the other hand, Fulham, for me, is always a tricky team. Fulham, you never know. It's
Yeah,
like opening a
yeah.
box of surprises. You never know what you're getting with Fulham. And I love
Surprise.
Fulham's defense. I love their defense, but I feel that without someone like Anderson, Fulham are like they also one of those teams whereby you need to be wary of their players. Except Anderson in the Fulham squad, who else would you go for?
Kevin Bassi.
You'd go for
I I
Basi.
I I I do rate him. In terms of the defense. The defense. That's the one we're talking about, right? I'm a
Yes,
big fan
yes.
of him. I'm a big fan of him. Like I know the hype is around your Andersons, and even though he hasn't played, Diop hasn't played, he's also someone to consider. But I do consider
Diop
Basi
still
a
play.
solid player. He doesn't. I don't think he's played a single match this season.
Doubt it. Issa Diop is way past his expiry date. But I mean, look, look,
Yeah,
look at the
but
stats that they're
Basi,
showing
I'm
on
a
the
bit.
screen
They
at the
have
moment.
okay. Basi has the fixtures they have coming up won't show his class. They have very tough fixtures coming up, but I really do think Basi is a solid player, underrated
But
at best.
don't you think that's where is strength should be showed when they have tough fixtures since he's a defender? Anyway, it's fine. My point is that at Fulham, the highest point scorer is 19 points for Joachim Anderson. Uh, for
Joachim, do
me,
you? Yeah, Joachim Anderson.
Joachim,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
yes, they are 11th on the table at the moment. One win,
Hmm.
one loss, two draws. This is what Fulham does. Fulham is probably going to beat Arsenal. They're probably going to beat Liverpool. They're probably going to beat Chelsea, maybe even Man City. Other than
A
that,
surprise. Yeah.
Fulham plays a, Fulham is the most competitive mid-team table in the league. Fulham and Crystal Palace, in my opinion,
I
are
was thinking Crystal
ninth.
Palace as well. I was
Yes,
thinking like
Fulham
I would put them in the same bubble, you know?
Yes. Ninth, 10th is what they fight for season in, season out. West Ham as well, but West Ham, we know their story. And give them 2 seasons, they'll fight again, or next season. This season,
Yeah.
West Ham has called it already. They are just tired. But yeah, so
But
so
yeah,
that's just my take with the Fulham game. Uh, and then we had Newcastle versus Wolves 1-0. What did you think about the new striker in Voltemade?
I don't know how to pronounce his name. That's one I am struggling with a lot. I saw this man compared to the other players. This man is tall. This man is super
Very
tall. I
tall.
think he's almost 2 meters tall.
Only Dan Burn is taller
This
than
man
him.
is tall. This man is super, super tall. But nah, man, it's nice to see a striker come in and try to fill the shoes of Alexander Isak and then score on his debut. Uh, that was lovely, but that was about it. That was about it. Other than that, I don't know what's happening with Newcastle. Newcastle used to scare me. Definitely used to scare me. But at this point, I don't see them reaching the heights they previously did.
So just a
Your side?
quick. No, I just want to ask you a quick question. Where does Newcastle end the
Yeah.
season? Quickly.
7.
Don't overthink it. Seventh.
7.
Okay. I think that Newcastle, in my opinion, I just think that Newcastle are a lovely team this season. They're solid this season. And yes, so far they've only had one win. They drew twice and they lost once. It's still early in the season. I think they're adjusting to life without Isak. They are pacing themselves because they have Champions League as well. I think they play
True.
Barcelona tonight.
Yep. Yep. They do.
Newcastle are just not. I think their defense is improved 100% without buying anybody. The defense looks very solid. Their midfield,
They've got Shaw at the back and they've got Dan
Dan
Burn.
Burn, and
And
then they
then
have
yeah,
Trippier,
no, yeah.
Livramento,
Proper, yeah.
and Lewis Hall.
Wall is the
So
young boy. Wall is the young one. The young one. Yeah, no,
yes,
he's good.
yes,
He's one for the future. Yeah.
and I feel so bad for Newcastle. They sold Lloyd Kelly to Juventus. He was on loan last season. They sold him this season, and this guy showed up twice. He showed up over the weekend against Inter Milan, a lovely side-footed shot into the net, and then he scored the last minute goal again now last night. But okay,
You
Newcastle
sound like a
to
big fan,
me,
like you really do love Juventus.
I love, yeah. When it comes to Italian football, I do prefer Juventus above the rest. But yeah, that's an
Okay,
Italian. We'll talk
cool.
Serie
Yeah,
A
that's it.
next time.
Yeah, we'll talk
Yeah,
that another time. Nonetheless, as you're
yes.
saying,
So Newcastle for me, I think they are just really pacing themselves. I mean, they had this whole debacle with Isak now. Their midfield is
hmm
solid for me. For me, Newcastle has the best midfield, arguably, obviously, in the Premier League. They just need other players around it to make them the best team in England. But as a midfield three, they have three engines in there. And these engines are, they're not there to assist. They are not there to take all the praise. They are just there to do their job, get a pat on the back from the coach, and do it again next week. Joe
are you,
Linton,
you,
Tonali,
yeah, Joe Linton and Guimaraes.
As well as Bruno. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Uh,
So I
I'm gonna
love
be
what
honest with you.
Newcastle is doing at the
I'm not
moment.
a fan of Joe Linton. I'm not a fan of Joe Linton. It's not the first time I say it. I'm really not a fan of him. But ultimately, I try my best not to be biased, and he does get the job done. He does get the
He
job done.
does.
He's there to do what he gets paid for. It's perfect. Joe Linton and Jacob Murphy, two players I feel that They're annoying. They are absolutely annoying. Jacob Murphy gets more credit
Why
than what
Jacob
he's
Murphy?
actually do.
Why did you say that?
Jacob Murphy's not that type of player. He's the one. Oh, did you watch him this past weekend?
I watched Newcastle's game actually. I think this weekend, out of all the games, I think it was just Newcastle, Liverpool, and the Men United, Manchester.
So you did watch Jacob Murphy play.
Yes.
Did you see what shots he was doing? Only shots. Why? They look ferocious.
Unnecessary sometimes. Unnecessary.
More often than not. More often than that's my problem. You took the exact word that was escaping me. He does unnecessary things. He does
Okay,
unnecessary
sharp.
things.
So,
But nonetheless,
so
that's Jacob Murphy for you.
how? Yeah, Jacob Murphy. I had this conversation in the week. I'm even getting excited just to talk about Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy has been around. He's been around, and
Yeah. Yeah.
he has no, in my opinion, he has no business being as good as he is. And when I say good, I mean consistent, always pitching up with assists. The run he went on last season, I think he assisted 7 games in a row or something. And he's the type of player that plays for Crystal Palace, West Ham, Fulham. He's that type of player, in my opinion.
A
But he's
mid-table
playing
player.
at, yes, he's a mid-table player. He's a player that who can I mention? He's the kind of player that when you hear his name, you hear Premier League. That's all you hear. You just hear his name. You know he plays in the Premier League. You don't know where he plays, who he plays for, but you know the name. So, in my opinion, he has no business being so good. Anthony Langa was bought by Newcastle to play on the right hand side because even Newcastle said, this is Jacob Murphy. There's no way he's going to perform again. And they Langa's on the bench because of Murphy. So I feel that he doesn't get the credit and respect he deserves, even from a fan like myself, even from commentators, from pundits. I think that Jacob Murphy actually improved his own game. Something sparked one day and he said that I'm going to pull up my socks. And that's what he did. And he's doing it. He's playing Champions League tonight. He's playing against Barcelona. We'll see whether he starts or not because it's always a 50-50. We don't know.
Yeah.
But so far in the Premier League, I think Ilanga's played the first game only or started it
Yeah,
rather.
look, in terms of work ethic and work rate, you can definitely put your money on him. See, that's the
On
thing. That's why I
Newcastle.
said, like, initially, no. We was talking about Jacob Murphy. Players like Murphy and Joe Linton, that's what they're going to do. You're going to give them a job and they're going to commit to the job. And that's fine. I feel like they give you, I wouldn't say the bare minimum, but what is expected of them. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about the two of them. I think we can move forward to the West Ham and the Tottenham Hotspur match. Or you still want to discuss Jacob Murphy?
No. I had enough of Murphy. Tottenham, Thomas the Frank engine, full stop. That's all I'm going to say this season. Thomas Frank.
Thomas de Frank.
Yes,
Is that what
that's
you're going to
all I'm
say?
saying about Tottenham. West Ham is just a barely run club. I've said it, and I
Mm-hmm.
stick to it. They are. I don't understand it, and it's sad actually. But I'll come to that one. But yeah, West Ham doing West Ham things. I mean, that 3-0 that they beat Nottingham Forest, they caught me by surprise. I was off my chair. I
Yeah, no, everyone
almost
was
bought
surprised. Yeah.
Paqueta. I almost bought Paqueta because of that performance. But then I realized, hold your horses.
you need to. You need to use your higher cognitive ability. You know what
What
I
are you
want to say
talking
about
about?
that? Mickey van der Ven. Mickey van der Ven. I know this is a Spurs player, but I'm a big fan of him. The boy is quick. The boy is smart. He scored in the beginning of the season. I remember everyone said, "Nah, not Mickey, my boy." I said, "Nah. Give him time. Give him time." He popped up again. He was the man of the match. He walked away with a goal and a clean sheet. I think the match was solid. Xavi Simons, I was shocked to see him taking a corner so early. So early in his Spurs career.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took the corner, and guess what? It turned into a goal. He assisted, and there we go. By the way, going back to West Ham, someone who popped up the previous match was Somerville. Somerville came in and he obviously inspired the win and everything, but he's definitely one to watch for the season. All he needs to do is stay fit, and I definitely see him getting some points. All right, so back to
So I just can I just give you 2 points on one on Somerville, one on Van der Ven.
knock yourself out.
Just my opinion. So with Somerville, the last time Leeds were in the league, Somerville was a Leeds player, and
Yes,
I had the same
I think
feel
didn't they
like you
buy
have
him from
now.
Leeds?
I could be. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So I had the same feel you have now at the moment, but I think that was like 2 or 3 seasons ago. So the train has left for Somerville, in my opinion. And then Van der Ven, my personal opinion about Van der Ven, I hear all the hype around him. I hear people talk about him. I hear how fast he is. I mean, you even nicknamed him Vrpa. But honestly, does he even get into the Dutch starting 11? I doubt it.
Who's he up against in the Dutch starting 11?
Stefan de Vrij and Julian Timber. Maybe even
Mickey van der
Tekken
Ven.
Ake.
Van der Ven is a better centre back than what he is a wing back. So he's
Who's the
really
wing
up
back that I
against.
mentioned? Who did I mention
When I say
there?
wing back, you full backs doesn't matter. Wing back, full back, same thing.
No, it's not the same thing, but okay. So
Whatever. We're
there's
not going to
two
discuss positions.
two different terms
Nonetheless,
to it.
okay, cool. Nonetheless, as I was saying, you know who's he up against? He's up against some of the best defenders in the Dutch players, bro. You can't come in there, but yeah, in the Premier League, he's highly rated, and that's nothing. We can't change that. Mickey van der Ven is valued at 4.7 million. His form is 7 million, and he's got a total of 27 points thus far for the season. Got
Well
6
up to him.
against
Well up
Leicester,
to him.
1 against Bournemouth, and 14, staggering 14 against West Ham. It's coming up against Brighton shortly. Definitely they're bright, but then again, hey, Brighton, the thing with him is they surprise you. You'll think he'll pull a clean sheet, and guess what? He doesn't. But I
Exactly.
think so
And
far,
that's what I just said.
Spurs only have one loss for the season. I think, yeah, they only have one loss for the season. That was against Bournemouth. But other than that, they got the W against City, against West Ham. Quite reliable. I do see now with this addition of Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons is Dutch as well. From
Yes.
where is Frank de Boer? The engine, where is he so
Dutch.
Dutch?
Yes.
Okay, I understand why he has this fascination with Dutch
Frank de
players.
Boer.
The Boer. Okay. Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
man. And
So
speaking of Spurs players, aside from Van der Ven and Xavi Simons, Richarlison, I don't know if you still have him in your team. Is
I've
he
never
one to
had him.
really hold on to? No, not in
No,
your team.
never
I'm just
had.
talking to someone that's probably
Oh,
tuning in. You understand? If he's really someone, because I know a lot of folks still had him in the team. I think his position was up a bit. But I would rather, and also then there's the comparison now. Who would you rather have in your team between Kudos or Xavi Simons? Which one to do? Obviously, you can't have both, but just do consider. I think you can add into your watch list. Definitely add Xavi Simons to your watch list and just see how he performs in these upcoming fixtures.
yeah. So
Yeah, man.
so
Let's
why?
move forward. Why?
Okay, and then wait. When you talk about Richarlison, why do you ask if he's still old?
Some folks actually committed to him. I checked his possession stats, Richarlison's possession stats, and it looks like a lot of all. Maybe this is a majority Spurs fans that's holding on to him and have that emotional lineage to Richarlison. But his ownership is still up there, man. If I can just make this a bit bigger, I can tell you what his ownership is exactly. Full bio. Well, I can't trace it right now, but nonetheless, he still has a solid ownership. ICT 13.
Okay,
So
so
apart
then
from that, Brentford
Chelsea
2,
2.
Chelsea 2.
Yeah, so hey, Jordan Henderson, he showed up again. Hey, this guy, you know what? Nah, I know people used to call Steven Gerrard Captain Fantastic, nah. Hey, but I have this deep love for Jordan Henderson as a Liverpool
Why?
player, as a Liverpool captain. He won me a Premier League and a Champions League in a space of 2
Okay,
seasons.
okay,
And
okay.
not only that,
You read
I've seen Jordan Henderson since Liverpool acquired him. And this guy used to play as a right. I remember back then we used to play 4-4-2 as peaks in the
4-4-2. Yeah.
world.
Even
We
Milner
used to play
also played right
4-4-2.
mid, by the way.
Exactly. So Jordan Henderson was a right mid. And this guy was horrible at what he did. At the time, obviously, he couldn't play centre mid because we had Steven Gerrard and Lucas Leiva, who used to play next to him. Many other players as well, but I'm just
Lucas.
mentioning Lucas at the time. So
Yeah.
Anderson couldn't get into the central midfield, but he was
Henderson,
on
yeah,
the
he couldn't
right.
get into his favorite
And
position, yeah.
and the coach threw him to the left. He played left for a few games, and then the coach benched him. This guy used to sit on the bench game after game after game. And I always felt that, you know what, Henderson, you know what, one day you'll go to a different team and you'll play. I don't like young players being wasted on the bench, and that was exactly what happened to him. He was being wasted on the bench. Okay, Liverpool were bad at the time, but then somehow this guy transformed. And this guy used to be a substitute for Steven Gerrard. When Gerrard goes off, he comes on. When Lucas goes
Yeah.
off, he comes on. And he played central midfield from then until the end of, not the end, he's even playing now. But my point is that I love Henderson. I love his
That's his
story. I
position.
love,
Yeah, that's his position.
yes. And I mean, he reminds me about the Newcastle midfielders. He just does his job. He doesn't assist anybody, even though he had a lovely assist against Chelsea. But he's one of those guys
But
that
he
just
can
does
play
the
a
job
ball.
and
He can
leads the team.
he can
He
play a
can
good
play a
ball.
ball. And
He
he
can
used to
play a good
love
ball.
playing balls against Arsenal. Henderson always scored against Arsenal. But yeah, lovely assist from Henderson. And then Cole Palmer back at it, off the bench, goal. Moises Caicedo, I would say at the moment, he might be the best defensive mid in the world, arguably.
You are
But
pushing it. You're
who are you,
pushing it.
who
You're
are you putting
pushing
up
it.
against him? Who
You're
are you putting
pushing
up
it. Look
against him?
here.
Don't say
Well,
Jean-Rae.
let's what I wanted to say. No, hang on. What I was getting at was Moses Caicedo, value around 5.6 right now. He's got a solid form of around 8. And that's far for the season. Do you know how much points he has? He has 29 points thus far.
He's a lot
A lot
of
of those
points
points come
because
from
he's been
DEFCON.
getting defensive
And that
contributions.
is yes, he's got a lot of DEFCON, and I'm astonished. I am
Because
absolutely astonished.
you're undermining. That's why.
You first and foremost, like I was about to say before, I was so rudely interrupted once again. Chelsea had solid fixtures coming up. It was Chelsea and Everton. I think their first six or seven fixtures for the new league were looking really, really good. And he has come to the table. Moses Caicedo has definitely come to the table. He's got DEFCON and he's also scoring goals. He's popping up in there. And he's definitely showing why he should be in your team. I don't have him in my team as yet. I do regret not having him in my team. I really feel like I should have put him in because you know what the strange thing is. You know when you look at someone for FPI, you're like, you know what, I think I should put this boy in here. I think I should put this boy in here.
You can't have all of
But
them.
you can't have all of them. You can't have all of them. Let me just check this one stat here from him quickly.
While you're checking that stat, João Pedro with another assist. I think João
Thank you.
Pedro might be third on the point scorers. He's been bagging points in all 4 games so far.
Okay. Sao Pedro also another one I wish I had in my team yet. I do not. Nonetheless, he is solid. He is definitely solid. He's got around 33 points thus far for this past. I think we've been game week 4 now, yeah. Until game week 4 for the past 4 fixtures, he's popped up despite him throwing up on the pitch on international duty. Popped up, got man of the match, walked away with 7 points from Brentford, and now he's up against United. I want him to
Easily.
score a hat trick.
Chelsea easily beats United.
I want him to score a hat
Easily.
trick.
You know, man. We're gonna get
Definitely.
United. Yes, leave the best troll team for last. We're gonna get
Yeah,
United.
no, we'll get there. We'll get there. Well, let's go back. You asked me a question earlier. Okay, but what?
Yes. Who would you put up against what's his name? Caicedo as arguably the best
In his position.
D in the world. Yes.
Well, first and foremost, first and foremost, I just want to point out that I do think that Ryan Gravenbach is better than Moses Caicedo. Let's just point that out. But in terms of the best defensive midfielders in the world right now, it's tough because the players I do want to say have not been playing in that position really this season. So I can't classify them really as defensive midfielders because they haven't been doing that right now. Well, for example, I know you are definitely, this is your favorite player to bring up in this discussion, and that's Rodri. Rodri hasn't really been playing for some time now, so we can't say right now he's the best. Even though,
Exactly.
if you look, if you discuss this with pundits and you go into the stats, and you discuss it yourself, and you digest, and you dissect, and you do all of these intricate little things, Rodri will most likely pull up to be the best, but he hasn't been playing, so you can't say that. The same way with Declan Rice. Declan Rice has not been playing that position, really. It's been given to Zubamendi. And although Zubamendi is definitely effective in his position, I do feel like he can improve. The same thing with this boy from Real Madrid, Tushimeni. Am I saying it right? But I think definitely is the yeah. But you know which guy I'm talking about, yeah? Yeah, him. You understand? Even Joshua Kimmich. I don't know what position he plays, to be honest. I have no idea what he plays, but he is a good defensive midfielder, and that's where we are now with DMFs at this point in time. Another one also to consider, which I think is fluctuating, is Kamavinga. Man, Kamavinga is fluctuating. We don't know where he is right now, but yeah. Speaking of which, last night I think that match Real Madrid, the throwaway match. And that's my honest opinion. It's a throwaway match. Don't come and tell me about that. But let's move forward from the Brentford Chelsea. Do you want to move forward to the Liverpool Burnley match where Burnley got a red card
Yes, I would love to.
and
No,
Liverpool walked away with a penalty?
before we go there, I just want to say Chelsea, unfortunate for them, or fortunate for Brentford. They scored in the 96th minute, and it was a Liverpool player, Fabio Carvalho. He popped up at the back, he
Cavallo.
slotted it in, and yeah, 1 point, which is, I think, is bad for Chelsea actually. Where I put them in my opinion, I think Chelsea not deserves. Nobody deserves in football. You play to get what you get in football. There's no
Yeah.
handouts in football, except if you're Real Madrid. But yeah, so yeah, Chelsea, unfortunate, lost 2 points rather than won 1 point. Good for
Yeah.
Burnley.
True.
Now playing until the end of the game, and yes, 2-2 final score. Liverpool. No,
Burnley. Oh,
Burnley
you mean
0,
Brentford?
Liverpool
Okay, but
1.
now I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, Burnley 0, Liverpool 1.
Yeah,
So
luckily that penalty came through, because I say this because I had Captain Salah and I expected him to perform a lot better. And I was watching the match and I was like, yeah, another captaincy wasted. And I switched it off.
Saved
I
by the
left it.
bell
I was like,
again.
I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not even gonna concern myself with this match right now. And I went in like a few hours later to the app and I saw how last minute penalty.
Saved by the bell
Come on,
again. You
man.
know what? Mohamed Salah
Saved
is
by
the
the bell.
most.
Saved by the bell.
But I hear you are saying the word lucky, and I disagree with you. I really do disagree with you. Liverpool
Don't you
have
do that
not
quite
been
often?
lucky. They've not been lucky. You you can't be lucky 4 weeks in a row. You can be fortunate.
You can be. Trust me. I'm when I tell you this, because I know there was a time when Arsenal was gunning for the title, and we kept it late for several matches towards the end of the season. Kept it late, kept it
That
late,
is
kept it
not
late.
luck. That's not
Do you
luck.
know? Do you know what do we call that? We will call you almost, almost.
Almost doesn't
And
count.
one thing
But
about
anyway,
almost
anyway.
runs out.
So okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Anyway,
okay. We're gonna get to Liverpool now. I'm gonna talk about them now. I have a lot to say about them every week, but Burnley was actually on a, I think, 33 game unbeaten home run until we came there. So I watched that game. I watched it from the beginning till the end. Burnley was not the better team. Liverpool were the better team. And this is my point in saying that it's not lucky. The better team won the game. Uh, yes, it might be by a penalty in the last minute with a handball, but I wouldn't even call it unfortunate for that Man United player. The guy, he turned his back to the ball. Football 101, don't turn your back to the ball. Not when they're trying to cross it in. And I mean, with the new rules with VAR, with handballs and penalties being so strict, he gave it on a silver platter. And nobody can deny that that was a handball. There's no argument to say it was, or VAR is on your side, or the referee bought a Liverpool ticket, or whatever the case may be. That was purely, I think Liverpool had 27 shots, and I think
I know you guys
four
had
of them
a
were on target.
astonishing. It was more than 80% possession. Possession was crazy. It
Exactly.
was
So that's
more
my
than eighty
point. So that's
percent
my point.
possession.
We didn't go there and not do anything. We tried to break down the defense. And eventually, it was a lapse of concentration by one individual. The
Mm.
same way it was a brilliant movement
Hannibal.
from one individual against Arsenal. The same way Chiesa came on versus what's the name? Bournemouth. And moment of brilliance. The same way Rio Ngamoa, he slotted the ball first touch or first time into the corner. It's not luck. Liverpool does this. They play to win. Whether they win one or
Yes,
whether they
I'm
win
sure they
five,
do.
they're about the 3 points.
Definitely.
And that's all that
Correct.
matters in a league phase. So Burnley was tough to break down, and credit to Burnley for being so tough to break down. I got frustrated eventually because we didn't do anything wrong, and they just came and they defended us. They came there and they said they're going to defend us, and that's what they did. And unfortunately, they lost. Unfortunate for them. But with that whole game, Mohamed Salah, the gift from Allah, he came from Roma to Liverpool. Please don't take Muhammad away. Muhammad does what Muhammad does. And for you guys that keep captaining Muhammad, I hate you guys. I hate it because he saves you guys time and time and time again. I I've mentioned that Haaland. I built my team around Haaland, so I captain Haaland.
Who
And
did
I
you
said that I
captain? You
won't
captained Haaland.
Haaland.
Okay.
Haaland,
Okay.
Erling Haaland. Yes. So Salah,
Yeah, I got that part.
yeah, he just made it for you guys again. Lovely. That's why he's the greatest FPL asset because of what he did. But nonetheless, let's go on to
Okay, so
the
that's
final
turned
game.
into
Or
Liverpool's
actually,
podcast. Welcome. My name is Jean-Rae, and this is Chester, and this is the Liverpool podcast.
with that being said, nah, just give me
Uh,
just
yeah.
give me 2 minutes. Go on. Tell them about your Liverpool take. Or actually, you know what? I want to hear your Liverpool take. Tell them about anything else.
You want to
But
hear
I
my
want to hear
Liverpool
your
take?
Liverpool take. I'm coming.
I have nothing to say about the match, but what I would like to point out is that Liverpool's upcoming fixtures do look really, really, really solid. And if you do not have more than one Liverpool asset in your team as yet, I would recommend that you probably do that and get one inside there. Let's start off first. Let's start at the back. Let's start at the back with Allison. Allison is seen as one of the greatest goalkeepers in the league right now, as per Liverpool fans. Valued around 5 million, total points of 16, and they are going up against Everton. And seems to me like Everton will be at home and their new stadium. Liverpool will be going there, obviously, in hopes of walking away with another W and another 3 points. Everton versus Liverpool always come with a lot of drama, but more often than not, Liverpool walk away with a W. Astonishingly, Chester always mentions that Van Dijk is not the player he used to be, yet he is the best performing Liverpool defender right now, with his value increasing to 6.1 and his total points currently accumulating to 22. Definitely something to consider with how Everton is playing as of late. And then we've had too much to say about Salah, and I was 100% certain that there would be too much to say about him. So a Liverpool player that you might want to consider bringing in for this new upcoming fixture is Cody Gakpo, another Dutchman in the Premier League, valued at 7.7, with a total points accumulation of 23. Walked away with 10 points at Newcastle, 3 at Arsenal, and 3 again at Burnley, showing exactly how flaccid this team is. Now going up against Everton, let's see what they can do. Hopefully, they can recycle their form and walk away with another 3 points. Unless, of course, the midfield at Everton have a different plan together with the attacking field. I think Chester is back. Are we going to talk about the Man City versus Man United match? I do not think so. It's something that we have
Uh,
discussed over and over again with people all around the world. Haaland brace, Man United typical performance. They've went through it. They are still going through it. And right now, I only see the scars of the United supporters going up and up and up. I know what Amarim is doing during training, but it seems like he's doing nothing. Nonetheless, Chester, is there anything you would like to say about the Man City and Man United match?
lovely performance from Jeremy Doku. Oh, lovely. He skinned them. You know that term called showboating. That guy would be the president for it. Lovely
Showboating.
from him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I
I,
had
I
to
love,
laugh
yeah.
there
Quick
because
feet.
it's not a real thing. Yeah, but lovely from him.
What?
Haaland
Showboating isn't a
doing
real
other
thing.
things. Yeah, it's not. But we'll get to that one. And then
Showboating is part of football, but I get what you're saying. Like,
I
what
just
are
want to
players
know
supposed to do?
when does Amorim get replaced? Actually, not when. Who replaces him? Because I saw
Who
Jose
replaces
Mourinho
him?
went to Benfica now, so he's out. Either Areola of
Man,
Bournemouth or Glasner of Palace. I think that's United's best bet at this moment because at the moment this
before,
guy has 37 games with 37 points. So it's him. It's him. It's not the
yeah.
team. And yes, you can say it's the management or how the team is being run or whatever. Sharp, I do agree with that. But it's him. He's a fraud. He's a scam. Sack Amarim.
Do you know what surprised me? But this is something that's been happening season or after season after season. Just before Amarim joined, social media was blowing up with Zinedine Zidane being the next Man United coach, and I was like, okay, whatever. Nonetheless, did you know that even after four matches thus far in the season, Haaland is still one of the most transferred players into the league? And I think the brace against United displays exactly why. More than 255,000 people have transferred Haaland in at this stage. So if you do not have him in your team at that point, maybe you want to bring him in right now. Do you know the only two players that surpass him with incoming transfers are Semenyo
On the
with a
bench.
staggering 560,000 and Van der Ven with 258. Distance isn't that much. But just think about that there are still people who do not have Haaland in their teams at this point in time. Nonetheless, enough about the previous game week, man. Let's talk right now. I know we've been probably chatting football for the past hour. Normally, this is accompanied by some beers, but we do not have that privilege today. Would you like for us to dissect into the upcoming fixtures and see exactly what our star players to look at, seeing we've ravished every single match for the past game week?
Star players must be a Liverpool player. Uh, Chelsea definitely. Chelsea's players.
Hang on.
For
Star players, a Liverpool player.
yeah,
Give
for this
me the
upcoming
one
week,
player you think is going to perform against Everton. Would it either be Cody Gakpo or would it be Mohamed Salah?
Ekatike.
Okay, that's
Okay.
that's surprising. However, good choice. Good choice.
Yeah.
I do prefer Ikitike over Isak, by the way. You can say what you want to in
Only
terms of
because
everything
Isak
that
hasn't
Isak has
played
done.
yet.
No,
Only because
because
he
I like
hasn't
the way
played
it's
yet.
because Ikitike plays a creative, a fun football. Like it's
Yes.
fun
No,
to
I
watch him play. And that's what that's the football that I like. I like that type of player, someone who's not just a textbook player who does things exactly by the book around shooting. Like he has creativity, he does this, he does that, a little bit of flicks, a little bit of tricks. That's something you won't expect him to do. You know that's the type of player I'd like to see. He doesn't I know he's French, which I guess is part of their culture, but that's what he does, man. That's what he does.
Yeah, let's not get into the Isak thing actually. Let's wait for him to play. But I just want to say, just go watch Isak played for Newcastle. Don't even go far back. Don't go to Dortmund or Sociedad or anywhere. Just go watch him. No, let's not get into it. Let's just leave it there because yeah,
Who's the last
Isak
player
can
that you
be
guys bought from Newcastle?
maybe John Joe Shelby.
John-Joe Shelby. Did
Maybe
John-Joe
we saw
Shelby
him
arrive
playing. Maybe
uh, after that tall guy with the ponytail? What was his name? The light skinned dude. He
Andy
plays in
Carroll.
the
Andy.
third tier. Yeah, he plays in the third tier in the French league right now.
Andy
That's
Carroll.
all I'm saying. Yeah, Andy Carroll. That's the last Newcastle warrior that you signed. Because remember at Newcastle he was brilliant. Andy Carroll was brilliant. He was racking goals like it's nothing. Just consider that. Nonetheless, Everton.
You actually have a
That
point there.
yeah, just something to consider, but
Yeah,
nonetheless not something for you to
we
focus on
sold
too
John
much.
Joe. We sold John Joe to Newcastle. But
To
okay,
him.
let's
And
not
then
dwell too long.
when he got there, he was actually brilliant. I love his celebration, by the way. Nonetheless, the midfielders, or more so the forwards at Everton will be looking to really outshine you guys. That partnership between Grealish, Njai, and Dewsbury Hall, astounding. Um, I want to see what's going to happen with this newly found chemistry. And with Beto up front, they link up with him perfectly. And the one that nobody's actually noticing is Ghana. Ghana actually has more points than Dewsbury Hall. He's sitting on 21 right now. Grealish, who had just came in and just arrived, he just arrived at Everton, is sitting on 24, valued around 6.8, with Njai still at 6.5, Dewsbury Hall still at 5 million. Everton players that you definitely should consider for this upcoming game week. But I do think that their favorable fixtures have come to an end. So if you have any Everton players still left in your team, just be sure that that's really what you want. I actually have the FDR open here. the best fixtures are done. At this point, they only have horrible fixtures coming up. Everton have some of the worst fixtures coming up right now. They got Liverpool, West Ham, Crystal Palace, Man City, Tottenham, Sunderland, Fulham, and then United. United will probably walk away with a W. But nonetheless, I see them struggling for a few matches after they had a good run, despite us obviously feeling like, no, they're not going to make it and things like that. But apart from all of that, I don't think I'll be captaining the early match on Saturday, since it's the first one, so no captaincy to Salah this game week. You anything to say? I'm not going to ask you about because I know what you're going to say about Liverpool versus Everton. You've said it for more than 7 years right now. You're going to say it again, so thank you.
Liverpool 8,
No, it's fine.
Liverpool
Thank you. Your
12,
Brighton versus Spurs,
Liverpool
like
44.
4 o'clock.
0. Yeah, Everton is the worst team in the Premier League, eh? Okay, but anyway, so I said star player from Liverpool, Ekatike Elko. Star player from United versus Chelsea, João Pedro, Cole Palmer. Obviously, Cole Palmer. Let's sprinkle some Enzo Fernandez there as well. And
Of course, you must.
Semenyo, actually. As much as I like Newcastle's defense, Semenyo is doing what it does. And then
It
Sunderland
surprises
versus
you.
Villa.
Definitely
I think
surprises you.
Sunderland versus Villa is one to watch as well. Villa has been poor. Actually, no, they haven't been poor. They've been nothing at the moment. Are you there?
I'm just parched. That's all. Just utilizing,
No problem.
or rather indulging in a beverage. Give me a second.
And then I see that the two runner-ups are playing each other for the last game on Sunday, 5:30. So, what in that game actually, I see it ending 0-0. So get yourself 3 Arsenal defenders, 3 Man City defenders, and you might even be team of the week. 0-0. Julian Timber, uh,
Kaya Fiore.
let's say
Mosquera is the
Gabriel.
cheapest option. Mosquera is a cheap
No.
option. I mean,
Yes, he is, but I saw Saliba was on the bench yesterday, so Mosquera, as much as
yeah,
you are
but
the
he
cheap
won't bring
option,
Saliba back.
okay.
Saliba struggled
And
anyway because he went off quite early. I don't know why he will try to bring him back at this point in time.
no, he's managing his minutes, but I think 3 Arsenal defenders, 3 City defenders, and your name is Bob. Is that the saying? How does it go? And Bob's
Bob.
your uncle.
Speaking of Bob, Bob's your uncle. Bob from Man City. By the way, I think he's a good one to bring in as well. It seems like the squad rotation at City is favoring some of his fixtures. For his value, definitely someone to consider. Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob. Young boy. You know what's the strange thing, no? I've seen him play a few matches and he plays different positions over and over and over again. He's valued around 5.5 for forward, and he's got about 11 points thus far for the season. Where did he accumulate most of his points? Most likely.
Horrible. Actually,
Thank
Man
you.
City's
Thank
points
you.
are
Man City
bad,
have
except
they have a
Haaland.
bad midfield now. No, they have a bad midfield now because the only people that are actually fit to play and for them to actually like be solid is Reinders, Doku, Foden, and Bernardo. Bob, shaky. Marmoush out. Cherky out. Rodrigo, as you can see, struggling. Savinho, we don't know what's happening over there. Kovacic, no idea.
What is
So
actually happening with Savinho? I forgot about this guy.
the midfield is a mess right now, and I think the only reason why they're actually scoring the goals they are is because they have that beast machine up front. You don't want to give him one too many chances. Do you know what I noticed was that a lot of other players' values have been changing and everything, but his stays at 14 million despite him performing at the level he is. It just shows that this is normal for him. This is normal for him. It's crazy.
Yeah,
But
Give him 2 weeks.
nonetheless,
Give him
hey,
2 weeks.
the first match for Donnarumma. First match for Donnarumma, he walked away with a clean sheet.
Yeah, it
Solid,
was
man.
actually a
Solid.
lovely performance from him. I saw one of the saves that he made. Oh, it was brilliant actually.
Who was that? Someone took. Yeah, I saw that shot as well. But that's what he's known for those
Mbamo.
quick, yes, those reflex saves. The corner, he is quick with
Yes, and
that.
he's so
Is really,
tall.
but
Him and Courtois actually surprises me with those because they're so tall, yet they get to the ground so quick.
so quick. Yeah, but nonetheless, Arsenal have taken Donnarumma down before. It won't be a big deal for them to do it again. Um, moving forward,
Donnarumma down against who?
Arsenal have put
PSG
him. Yeah, my boy,
in the group stage.
son. What was the final score?
No, I don't know. I'm asking
You
in the
don't
group
know?
stage. It was
No,
there, not?
okay, don't worry. If you don't know, you better go look it up. Nonetheless, let's move forward to Forest
Do you
and
know
how
he has a
Forest have
Champions League
previously
medal?
performed.
Do you know he has a Champions League medal? Donnarumma versus all of Arsenal. Do you know who has? There's only one 25 men squad plus Donnarumma. Do you know how many Champions League medals there are there? One.
Is
Only one.
is this the
But
English
anyways,
Premier League fantasy podcast or it's the
it's
Champions League
fine.
podcast? We need to be specific here.
It's fine. Let me reveal my
Solid matches that to look
point.
forward to for this game week. Forest versus Burnley. Forest
You're looking
versus
forward to it.
Burnley. I am, because Forest can walk away with some points, and I'm looking at bringing in a Forest asset. Forest fixtures coming up.
I disagree with you on that one totally. I
Which
think
one?
okay, wait. Since you spoke about that one, I think Burnley go for Jaden Anthony. I've been watching this kid since the first game, and he's a live wire. He's going to be bought by a bigger team, not by
Chelsea.
the big guns. Nah, not Chelsea. They have too many like
Chelsea
him.
buys everybody. Chelsea buys
They have too
everybody.
many like him. Yeah.
I'm surprised you unsigned by Chelsea as of yet. Nonetheless,
Let me check.
Forest has Burnley, then they have Sunderland, then they have a little bit of a scare with Newcastle. And then, funny enough, the FDR rating says that Newcastle is a lot more difficult than Chelsea. So then they have Chelsea, Bournemouth, United, United as a neutral rating on the FDR, and they have Leeds. So the upcoming fixtures look really, really, really good. So a Forest asset is definitely something to consider. I wouldn't put my money on a defender, on a Forest defender. So the likes of Murillo, even though he is at 5.5, I don't see him coming in. Neither the fan favorite Milinkovic, also 5.5. Um, I'm hoping to see Alexander Zinchenko play against Burnley to see what he can do there. And then obviously Ndoye, his value increases at 6.1 now with 19 points. And then Callum Hudson Ndoye also at 6 million. He's got around 15 points for the season thus far. Up against Burnley, I do see the two of them walking away with points. Wood is acting like chipboard as of late, so don't put your money on him. Nonetheless, those are some of the key fixtures coming up in the next few matches. Is there anything you'd like to throw in there? Perhaps the fact that Liverpool also have a great run of fixtures coming up. They've got Everton, Palace, Chelsea, United, Brentford, Villa, and then Man City. Exciting fixtures coming up. And then, funny enough, Wolves as well, but Wolves are underperforming, so I don't want to talk about them. I want to talk about Wolves. Are you still with me?
My bad.
Hello?
Not underperforming, performing just as they're supposed to. Wolves. Yeah, but
I see you've got no KDB, no problem on the screen. Is there something you'd like to tell us?
yes, I would like to tell you about my average display this weekend. Uh,
I think the better word is mediocre.
no. Average. Yes, it average point 63, total point 63. It's average. It's not mediocre. It's
Mediocre.
average. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the proof is in the pudding. I had an average week.
Yeah.
I didn't score too
It
much. I
happens,
didn't score
man,
too
but it
much.
does happen, yeah.
So yes, my captaincy on point. 13 points from Haaland equals 26. The rest of my team. Let's exclude
Yeah.
defense. Pickford, Porro, Muniz. And then there's a reason I'm not showing you my what do you call
Am
this?
I
Substitutes.
losing you?
So
Seems like we've
Declan
lost
Rice, for
Chester
some
over
reason,
there.
I do not.
Are we gonna need you just to repeat yourself ever so slightly over there? We lost you for a second.
So I'm saying that Declan Rice, for some reason,
Yeah.
I do not know why the guy didn't start the game. I can't tell you why he didn't start. And yeah, he contributed 1 point.
Yeah,
One
no, I'm
point to
still
game.
here. I'm still here.
And then
I
João
think
Pedro
that
with his 7 points. But wait, here's it. Julian Timber on my bench. It was between Timber and Rice. Who would score the
yeah,
most? And I
and
said, you
you
know
went
what?
with Rice.
Rice scores because he crosses all of the balls, both corners. He takes free kicks. He might, if Arsenal gets 2 penalties, Gyökeres might give him one. So Rice. But unfortunately for me, Rice only played 22 minutes.
I
Whereas
keep
Timber,
telling you this. Gyökeres
tell me.
left Portugal. He sold his home. He broke up with his girlfriend, and he sold his assets in Portugal to come to the Premier League. He's not gonna give someone else a chance to take a penalty kick. I remember when Doman was given a penalty. Can't remember which match it was, and everyone said no. We would have liked to have seen Gyökeres give the ball to Doman to score the penalty. No, no, that man came there to do his job. He's doing his job. He's there to put the ball at the back of the net. And every single opportunity that he gets to do that, you should be doing that. And that's all we have to say about that. But nonetheless, do continue with your team breakdown.
Yeah, so I did very poor. My team was absolutely poor, or let me say average rather. I've only have red arrows, except for the one league where it matters, whereby I'm still in second position. And yeah, there are teams, hey, there are players who are scoring over here. I mean, there's one guy, Manda, one point behind me. The gap, I was 1 point behind the leader, and now it's like 30, 20 sub odd points, the difference. So yeah, I think this was a brilliant week for a lot of players, but unfortunately for me, it was not. And it was very unfortunate for me.
Yeah, but
But
nonetheless, even though you performed 63, I think you're still close to the top. And that's a good thing, you know. I think when you're the top, you have that leverage to to make a few mistakes without losing
yes,
any ground. You know, you have that leverage. Whereas
yes.
if you were at the bottom, there's no room for error. There's no room for leniency. You really need to perform at your best in and out, week in, week out. But you have that option right now. You definitely have the option, and that's a good thing, man.
Okay, so tell me on your side,
On my
how did
side.
the game week look for you?
Okay, no problem. So I have returned. What I would like to point out first and foremost is I don't have any red arrows. If I share my screen over here, come now, hit me the music, Mr. DJ.
Tanale, how can you
There
have
we
a
go.
goal in it?
First and foremost, before we go there, I just want to break down our Omega FPL team. Well, up front, we have Zidane FC with Hezron Griffiths. He's leading the charge with 281, got around 84 points. And bear in mind, this man does not check his team. This man calls me at the last hour. At the last hour, is like, Ejan, so what are we doing? And I'm like, hey, pa, 1, 2, 3, whatever. But I'm only there as like just a voice, but the man does his own thing. And I'm proud to see that this is his first season and he's going in. He's really doing well. So big up to you, Hezron Griffiths. We appreciate your service. We appreciate your patronage and we appreciate you for your commitment. Normally by now a lot of new players dip, but he stayed consistent. And then second, we have Chester Dalman with no KDB, no problem. Third, we have Manda performing there astonishing 93, 258. He's obviously moved forward. And then we have Vincenzo Lamont with 69. We have Mr. McBride or Mrs. McBride or Miss McBride with 49. Marcio used to be one of the top performers in the league. Got 50 points. He's at 230, sixth. Then we've got Mr. Shane B. Cowley. Big up to Mr. Shane B. Cowley. Hope you're doing well, brother. 70 points is at 228. We're only going to announce the top 10, by the way. And then we have Braveheart with Brandon Jacobs over here, 61. Itumaleng, I think he was last season's champion. 68 is at 224. And then the man in 10th position, making it very clear, regardless of how you feel, you may have a COA. He walked away with 86 and is currently on 224. Bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this man was positioned 17th not so long ago. Now he's at 10th. Quite a valiant attempt there, brother. I'm proud of you, whoever you are. Wherever you are, we definitely love your work. Let's break down his team. As you can see, the manager from South Africa, he goes by Jean-Rae Peterson. As you can see, the kudu over there representing the Khoisan culture. And nothing but green arrows, which you all want to see in this life. He's got comparing it to the previous game week. There were two changes, so sacrificed 4 points over there. Brought in Raya, and as well as Tonali. Tonali was quite disappointing. Nonetheless, Gaye, Van de Ven, Timber performed quite well. I'm actually looking at moving away from this formation of 3-4-3 and moving more to a five back line as a result of how defenders are performing as late. The strikers, we have very minimum strikers performing, so Mateta can go to bed. And I'll be putting in another defender there. As you can see, Ronaldo seems to be doing the work. Brooks and Mateta have already attained their boarding passes, so they are on their way out of this club. Tonali, I definitely see him performing with his upcoming fixtures, hence I brought him in. I don't play 2 game fixtures or one game week at a time. I play 6, so that's what I'm doing. Captaincy for this upcoming week, I am honestly skeptic about what I'm. Nonetheless, when the game week comes to an end, I will be doing something. And for those who don't know when the game week is coming to an end and when your deadline should be sorted out, the deadline, 20th September, 12 o'clock. That's South African time. If you are anywhere else in the world, please go look at that and you'll figure it out for yourself. Nonetheless, solid game week, boys. It was fun. A lot of surprises over there. Salah did save me with his last minute penalty. And yeah, man, that's about it. And here we are. I think we've been at it for over an hour and a half now, brother. Would have loved for us to keep chatting and dissecting. Yeah?
Before we go on, let me just give a shout out actually to Mr. Shane Bikauli. You know, the thing is, I can't only criticize you and not give you your flowers. Nah? So Shane, in a high average of 63, which is very high for an average, he scored 70 points, 7 more than the average. So 7 more than what I
And
scored.
7 more than you. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yes. So yes, he's still going for James. I don't know why your captain would.
We have no idea why he does that.
Doesn't make sense. And then, other than James, I would just say it's
an average team.
And Haaland.
Hey, Fiore.
Yeah, it is actually basically it's very average, but yeah, you did well. So
yeah.
For 1 week, you have bragging rights. You can go out there, could tell the world that you scored 70 points because next week this team will be punished once again. So yeah, shout out to you, Shane, for your 1 week wonder.
Nonetheless, thank you, Mr. Bikawi, for your patronage and for your support. If anything, I think he's been playing FPL for the longest time now. It's something he always brings up in every single conversation. for the apps. I think it's more than 5, probably like 8. How long has Shane been playing FPL right now?
I don't know why you're saying he's been playing it the longest, because we played it together. We've been playing it.
Oh, have you been
This is
playing
our
with
8th
him?
season. Yes,
Your
this
8th
is our
season,
8th
and you're
season.
still trash. Okay, cool, no problem. Nonetheless, it's been a good game week. We're looking forward to it. We have Champions League coming up in the next 30 to 45. I believe some matches have started already. Let's see if your match is out as yes, your lineup. I want to see what your lineup is looking like for Champions League. Man,
Let's see. It's 8 o'clock. It will be out. Ellison
yeah.
starting at the back. Frimpong right back, which means Soboslai moves into midfield. Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, Soboslai, Groundberg, and Isak is starting.
Okay,
Just
okay.
tonight.
There we go.
Watch
Okay,
it.
Isak is starting with
Watch
Verts
it.
at the back.
And you know what?
I'm
Because
hoping.
he
I
starts
actually want to
tonight.
see Verts perform more than I want to see Isak perform. I want to see Verts perform. But there, no,
Yeah, I
man.
think
So
he'll
it
do
looks like you got a
technically well.
solid
I
lineup.
think he'll do much technically
Frimpong,
well.
Robertson. Robertson returns to the starting lineup, finally. Sobo, Gravenbach, Salah. And then you are up against Griezmann, Raspadori, Gonzalez, Gallagher, Dalmer Barnes, Simeone. This is Simeone's son, yeah?
Yes,
Lorente,
that's correct.
Normand, Lenglet, Tengalan, and Oblak. Jan Oblak.
I know Oblak is
Okay.
brilliant, eh?
Yay. Oh, we need to give him his flowers while he's alive. Definitely.
I
Oh,
tell you,
Koke still plays for Atletico Madrid. Just like it.
he's the captain,
I think
isn't he? Yeah, he's the captain.
he's got a light, but he's not in the starting lineup. Yeah, but he is the go-to captain, and they still play 4-4-2. By the way, you can see
And
how long.
both.
Okay, it's a good, solid team.
So I said 3-1, huh?
Yeah.
Isak 2, Salah 1. Do you know why? We're coming in here by the left back and Clement Langley. We're getting in there. Those are the weaklings in this team. Just watch what happens. Unless Conor Gallagher defends them.
Gallagher
And
probably wants to eat you guys up.
actually, we want them to score first. Griezmann in the second minute to score. And from there, it's downhill.
Didn't this Clement Langley? I think he used to play for Barcelona.
Yes, he used to. He used to
Yeah,
play
he
for
used to play for
Barcelona as well as
Barcelona.
Tottenham
Yeah,
Hotspur.
I remember him. But nonetheless, solid fixtures. Okay, cool. Let's see what's the other good fixtures for the night.
Bayern and
Other
Chelsea.
than
Oh,
Bayern and
Chelsea is
Chelsea,
going to be
definitely. Yeah.
amazing.
I miss the days of seeing Drogba play for Chelsea, I must say. And then
It's the
Ajax and
good
Inter.
games. Ajax and Inter.
Yeah, Ajax and Inter. Newcastle and Barcelona tomorrow. Frankfurt versus
Tomorrow?
Galatasaray. Yeah.
Why tomorrow?
No fixtures. It's the new setup. Newcastle vs Barcelona tomorrow, as well as Man City vs Napoli tomorrow. Sporting vs Karat tomorrow as well. Frankfurt Galatasaray tomorrow. Copenhagen Leviskin, Club Brugge and Monaco. So yeah. Okay, I think with the Slavia Praha just scored. Whoever that
Okay,
is.
just look at the
Nonetheless,
screen I'm sharing. Just look at the screen I'm sharing
yes.
quickly.
Yes. I'm with
And
you.
just see this. Just see this. See it. There's Ekatike. There's he gone. And then there's my guy in. There's he in. Make transfers. Confirm. Done. Done. You know who's leading my line this weekend.
We will
And what
call
they do
you
there?
almost.
Captain.
Almost. Captaincy for Isak.
Yes,
You like this Anthony boy from Burnley, huh?
I do.
Okay. Do yourself a favor.
Team. I'm revealing my team to you.
You might want to generate a team badge, knock yourself out. By the way, this guy, Roofs, is solid.
Yeah, but I think Vicario actually.
Vicario.
I'm still deciding on a starting lineup.
Yeah, no, take your time.
It's done. Okay. But thank you. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Follow, like, subscribe, share, love. What else? Do all of it. Omega _
Yeah, no.
FPL.
We are Omega FPL, and I am Jean-Rae. Jean-Rae Peterson. This is Chester. Chester Dalmer.
Thank you.
The prophet who has so bravely removed Hugo Ekitike and replaced him with Alexander Isak. The Swedish striker was coming from Newcastle for 125 million, looking to make his mark at Liverpool, wearing the number 9 shirt. The last
Pounds, not
great
points.
number 9. The last great number 9 at Liverpool was Fernando Torres. And then again, he had like 1 or 2 great seasons. Other than that, it was flaccid. Just a dull one. I hope you continue and have yourself a wonderful evening and a great game week. Enjoy your match tonight against your opponent, Atletico Madrid.
You too, sir.
Ciao for now.
And thank you for everyone tuning in.